Hey there. I've been having some really weird dreams, especially last night. Um, I it was kind of about zombies, although not the usual kind of zombie type thing. Um, Jill and I were in a crowd, and we were kind of being pushed forward, and then there was this announcement that these zombies were coming, and everyone just went frantic. And there was like this big church building, which wasn't really a church. It had hardware goods in it and stuff. Um, and some people went forwards to fight, and some people went backwards as if to run away. And I think we got kind of pushed forward. We were like, right, well, we're gonna fight. And then Gilles went off the other way, and I was like, what are you doing, and I ran after him, and he went into the big churchy building with the with the stuff in it. And I sort of ran after him, and it was all chaos. And he was looking at all these weapons and whatnot. So Gilles went into this building, and I was outside, and then the crowd sort of carried us. So I went off into the town, and this is when I started to come up against people who were sort of turning zombie. And in the dream, the first signs of turning zombie apparently was that you didn't know where you were from, you didn't know your address. And then Gemma from work was in my dream, and I thought I'd found some people I could hang around with, because having lost Gilles, I was a little bit, up in the air with no weapons and whatnot. And then she said something to me that scared me, because she'd said something like, I can't write it down because I've forgotten how to write, something like that. And I thought, oh shit. I'd ended up at some point in almost like one of their lairs, or like this officey type building, and there was loads of them around, and I thought I was safe. And then I started to realize, that was when I started to realize these people were going to turn into zombies, and I had to get out, and they were suspecting me, and I was trying to be stupid so that I could fit in, and I was trying to find my way out, and there was loads of different doors and corridors and all sorts. Anyway, so I went out, and this is when I went back to that building, and I went inside, and I'd realised that everything was gone. All the weapons were gone. I was walking along, and it was all empty, because I thought I had a plan. I was going to buy some. I don't know where I got the money from. I didn't really have any money. And so I started picking up stuff like a spatula, and it would bend, and I got a little spade, and I tried it out, and it broke. And then I was really embarrassed, because the two people who ran the shop, these two guys, I was thinking, should I tell them, or will they make me pay for it? And then I sort of folded it back up and sort of put it there, and I felt very naughty. And and just everything I tried, every time, like a wooden spoon, it would like bend, and I felt so helpless. And next thing I know, I haven't seen Gilles for ages, and I'm in this house, like a safe house, with people who, they tested me to make sure I wasn't going to turn into one. Ooh, there goes the doorbell. And all of a sudden I sort of hear or see Gilles outside, and we had blackout blinds, and the blackout blind was like flickering, like blowing in the wind. So, and I could see him, and I was shouting, Gilles, everyone was like, what are you doing? Shh. And I was shouting to him, and he looked up, and he had like this long coat on and loads of these makeshift weapons, and he was busy like every now and again bashing things, and I was petrified they were going to come in through the door. And we sort of had this kind of argument, like he still hadn't forgiven me for this £10 thing, and he seemed so like not bothered, didn't want me to come out. And we had this conversation. He had this girl standing next to him. I was so jealous, because she was like this fighting girl, and she had a long coat on. She was kind of like goth looking, and she looked hard. And then he had this other skinny guy a bit further away, so, like, she was his best friend, and he was this secondary friend, and they were a team, and they were doing most of the killing or like defending, shall we say? Because at the beginning, I remember feeling like I thought it was just a small wave, and then nearer the end, it had turned into this massive war. Um, so anyway, he shouted at me for having the blind up, so I tied this black thing down around the window, and I was really upset about our conversation. And then this guy sort of scooped me up. He like picked me up in an odd way as well. Like, he was small, and not really small, but he didn't seem like the strong type, and he just picked me up like with one hand and put me on the sofa. And I sort of looked at him, and I think he might have like done something slight. There might be like a slight moment or something, and and I was angry, and he he said, "Oh, we better not do this, whatever," and I said, "Oh, I don't know," or something, and he said, "Well, shall I?" It's the funniest line. He said something like, "Shall I put? Do you want me to put a condom on my wood?" or something like that. And I thought it was the way he said it, though, it was funny in the dream, and I remember feeling really awkward because I knew neither of us liked each other, but we were just like trapped in this house, and we'd been in there for a while and we couldn't leave. So, and then anyway, I woke up in a hot sweat because I thought it was so uncomfortable, this dream. I just couldn't get back to Gilles, and I just couldn't get a weapon, and that was my weird dream. Another one that I had previous to that also had Gilles in. It was another day. It was a dream that there was cake in it. I remember there was cake in a party, or there was going to be my birthday or something, and there were loads of these cakes, but I was wanting to eat them, but it was like they were mouldy, but I wasn't sure if they were mouldy because I was thinking, but they're cake, they've got sugar in, and is that dust or is that icing sugar? It was quite strange that I remember about these cakes being out. And I also remember that Gilles and I robbed this shop, or it was like a garage or something, and because there were cars outside, and I thought they were taxis, because when we left, it was all a bit like we did it on the spur of a moment, and there was another guy there, but he didn't seem to even realise what we were doing. And Gilles got all the big money, and I got the small money, and I was chasing him. We had like an argument outside about how we were going to get away, and I was demanding a wodge of some decent money because I knew that if we split up, I'd be like stuck, because he walked off left and I walked off right, and he walked off with the guy, and the guy was talking to him, like annoying him and like yapping on, and I hadn't realised that we were having this quandary of trying to get away. And then we sort of met back up because the road led around, so we were doing that sort of, we're in a huff with each other but we're not really, and we don't really want to be separated. And he did give me a wodge of the money. No one seemed to be chasing us, but I felt like we were on the run, and he wanted to take the tube, and we were in Norwich in the dream, or somewhere hilly. It wasn't Hull, and I didn't want to get the tube because I didn't want to leave our place and the cakes and the party and somebody's grandparent, and I think it was his grandma in the dream. Something he was saying to go to his grandma's, and I was saying that I didn't have a suitcase or something. He was like, "You can buy new stuff, just leave whatever, we'll buy new stuff." And I thought, well, we haven't stolen that much, Anyway, that was a funny dream, I thought. Don't remember any of the other ones. What else have I been up to apart from having dreams involving my boyfriend and zombies and robberies, which is very out of character, by the way. My friend came around Saturday night, and it was her suggestion to play Monopoly. When I told my mum, she thought it was my suggestion because I always used to like Monopoly so much, and it was her suggestion, so I went with it, and I won, because I think she spent too much money on expensive properties, and I bought the cheap ones. So I started off with a brown, Old Kent Road, and then I got the blue ones, and then I got the, is it orange there? The next ones, orange and pink. I don't know if it's pink and orange or orange and pink. Anyway, I got the next one, and then I managed to get the other purple off her, so I got, you know, like Park Lane and that. And it was just basically a big long run of my hotels. But she was a really good sport. I really enjoyed playing with her. I might do a video about the rules of Monopoly, because everybody seems to remember all these made up rules instead of the actual rules, but I think as long as both people are playing by the same rules, it doesn't really matter. And I don't really enjoy auctioning to the bank anyway, because actually my mum didn't teach me that rule, but that's actually in the rules. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. I've painted my nails blue. They're in fashion for summer. Oh. It's about the only time it looks nice, I think, that those sort of colours. And neons are in. Love neons. Don't want to get off. Ooh. I don't want to go off talking about makeup and stuff this time. This isn't about that. I've been watching Big Brother, and I don't like Chris, and I don't like Aaron, and they're both up. But when Aaron heard, he's so arrogant, when he heard he was up against Chris, he had this big smile on his face. Then he tried to pretend that it was, you know, that either he wanted to go, or that he thought he had competition. And you know, in his head, he doesn't think he's got competition. He thinks he's in there. He's in there in his little jeans and his top off, with all the little girls are going to go, oh, he's so fit, I'm going to vote for him. Listen to the words he says. Look at him. He's just a horrible guy, and I'm going to vote for Chris, although I don't like Chris. Although I think he can't help it. He's not devious. Well, actually, I don't know if he is devious, but he's a bit less. I don't know. I'm going to vote for him to kick out Aaron, and then next time I'll vote for Chris out. I mean, whoever's against him, we get him out as well, and so we can have people I like in the end. But if you haven't been watching it, never mind. I've quite enjoyed it this time so far, and I've actually got a list of who I like at the moment and who I don't like at the moment and who I'm not sure about, but I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm going to get off and try and sort this out and upload it and stuff like that. So talk to you again soon.